A very good morning to you joining us all here on the Trending Topics Lolway TV. My name is Silvia Muraguri. We begin the story on a very sad note because now we are understanding that Uber's drivers' lives are on risk. This was actually leaked to us by one well-wisher who goes by the name Hesiwa Dandora. So he identified two notorious criminals who go by the name Kevin and Brian, who actually are targeting Uber drivers and killing them and also carjacking them. So in his message he wrote, "Good evening members, I just want to alert Uber drivers to be extra alert because in this case they are the ones seriously targeted by criminals, especially at night. There are these young idiots," he calls them idiots, "who go by the name Kevin and Brian," and actually got to screenshot their phone numbers. We have them displayed on our screens there. So these guys, what they do, he told us, request for online cars, the Ubers that is, and suddenly cancel their request. So they call the driver again to confirm the location of the driver. And after locating the driver's location, they ask the driver to wait for them at the location they have specified. And what actually happens is that at that point they're actually all offline, and so we cannot get to know where they are, and we can't get also to tell where the Uber driver is. So these guys go and attack the Uber driver and also carjack him and steal valuables from them. So we have identified one photo of Kevin. He calls himself Kevo in the photo. So this is actually very sad because you can imagine this guy is out there trying to fend for himself, trying to make ends meet at night when most of us are resting. And these are thieves risking to attack him and end his lives. We're not very pleased with that one. So there was actually sympathetic reactions to that by the citizens, and people are ready and on alert to stop this from happening. So we cross over to this story. It was funny and sad at the same time because people are saying that no justice for the poor Kenyans, to sympathize with the father of 7 who was charged with stealing a mere 105 shillings. Can you imagine? 105, not so much, but just something to get you going. So the father of 7 is said to have stolen 105 shillings on January 3rd at the Kenyatta National Hospital. So he was arraigned in court and requested the court to accord him a lenient sentence because he is the provider of the 7 children, and he really tries very hard to make ends meet. So the man stole a purse belonging to one nurse who goes by the name Onyunga Cement Harriet, and the purse was containing 105, but when all the valuables in the purse were estimated, they cost about 1,105. So I think that is not so much, and someone should actually come through and just pay the penalty. Yes, we do understand that theft is bad, but we can sympathize with someone at times. But so now Kenyans on Twitter, as usual, have reactions to this, and one Montgomery Dante says that the court should release the father of 7 detained and detain the nurse for leaving 105 in a purse. Like, this guy is actually mocking the nurse for having 105 shillings. I don't know how much he was expecting the nurse to have in the purse. And then Martin Cornell says that you steal millions, yet you can pay your way out. And the father of 7 who just stole a mere 105 shillings could not get his way out of court. And Bronix Alvin, the father of 7, steals 105 and goes to jail, but people who steal 1 billion plus are walking free. That is a comment from one Bronix Alvin. So that is again very funny and interesting at the same time. So this is weird because myself and my colleague Chris, when we were discussing about this, have never heard a person's body, unless maybe not identified by the relatives, staying in the morgue for close to 3 months plus. 3 months is a really long time, 90 days that is. So Nathan Ondiek is one very sad person because he has been denied the chance to bury his own wife on their property, and the wife goes by the name the late Priscilla Mwango. So the funny bit about this story is that the couple have been married for 26 years, which the Kisii County Court found a legal marriage because they stayed together for so long. And yet, according to Nathan, he had tried to secure his father-in-law blessing after he paid 10,000 shillings, but the father-in-law died before the customary ceremony was conducted. So the court, however, ordered Nathan to pay 1 cow so that he's allowed to bury his own wife. That there is very interesting because I can imagine this person is grieving and having stress at the same time. So it is a little bit sad for Nathan, but well, customs sometimes must be followed. But I think we're living in the modern times. You know, sometimes you can let someone go away with something so small and just, you know, forget about it. They have been together for 26 years, and Priscilla, of course, meant so much to Nathan. So I don't think that Nathan would have just refused to pay Priscilla's dowry like that. Maybe they were struggling to make ends meet, who knows. So now, on a little bit happier note, we cross over to Nyeri County, where the KTN reporter Carol Nderi has earned herself a new job with the county government. So Carol Nderi is a reporter for KTN based in Nyeri County and has just been announced as the head of communication and will now serve under the leadership of the new Nyeri Governor Edward Mutahi Kahiga. So Carol Nderi joins other 2 famous journalists who go by the name Richard Chacha, who was appointed as the Director of the Communications and Public Relations in Mombasa County, and Kenneth Mureithi, who serves as the head of communications in Tharaka Nithi County. So there is this hashtag that is trending on Twitter and people are making fun of, and it is really, really, really crazy there. And people are just, you know, over exaggerating this issue of January and, you know, Msoto and all that. So one Kimi here gives a comment and saying that having a roommate at this time in January will cut the cost into half. You know, you'll have to split expenses because, you know, now according to you, now things are very expensive compared to how you normally use your money. And Nick Wafula says that never consign a loan. This is the time where if you sign a loan with someone, they're looking for you, Ilembaya. And Samuel Makori says that don't have a pet or don't get a pet if you don't have disposable income and a lot of it, because even bonds cost money. And you know, the dog has to eat or the cat has to eat, so you need garama extra. And someone Makori says that cut out the binge drinking and smoking. You know, like how you get a cigar after cigar after cigar. Izo shilingi kumi, all of them amount to money and a lot of money, and sometimes you might end up regretting why you spent so much on drinking and smoking, thinking that you were having fun. And finally, the digital voice, he calls himself that on Twitter rather. He says that go to class. Skipping is like throwing money away. So all of you who are in campus and colleges, go to class. You know, you've paid for January as well, so don't let your January money go to waste. So this is all we had lined up for you today here on the trending topics. I've been your host, Silvia Womboi. Make sure to catch Chris and I tomorrow at the same time here on Lolwe TV.